Fucking guys.
Sounds gonna have to edit.
I
was about to tell
gonna
him,
have it.
let's already edit it out.
It's
Let's stop it, restart it.
Okay.
Boop.
Oh.
Boop.
John, I'm serious though. The more I think about it, the more I think that idea I texted you. I think we need to buy one of those rigs. It's just literally sell out. Let's sell out. I think that would make for advertising. I think we could get millions of followers.
I will sell everything right now.
The problem is I don't know how we get people to like that are good enough because it does actually take some skill. But
yeah.
It was a video of 360 degree slow-mo hula hooping. Wait a minute. With really hot girls. Okay, to be fair, number one. Okay, here's where I thought I texted John.
2.6 million views.
No, here's the thing. I texted John. This is fucking gold. The rig that the company that makes the thing that filmed it has 500 followers.
Wrong button.
500 followers, right? On YouTube. That the video of the girl hula hooping, 150,000 views. 500, 150,000. If we just bought, and they sell the rig, if we just bought the rig, and then here's the thing, I just thought about it just now. People are gonna be like, hashtag me too, right? That's sexist. What if we just had really ripped dudes also hula hooping for ladies? Equal representation. Because like a dude super ripped can gyrate and girls will be like, that's kind of hot. Like
I have free time.
You know what? I'm going to allow it only because I don't want an axe thrown at me from 10 yards into my chest. That scared me. That video, I was like, oh shit. He could actually throw an axe at me and kill me. That's terrifying now. You win all games. Whatever happens, you win the game.
Yeah, that was actually pretty fun.
It was pretty awesome. I was like, shit, dude, that's fucking hardcore. All right, John, introduce the show. Let's everyone be quiet for a second so we can get an edit point because I'm being nice.
Hello and welcome to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We are going to be playing Rogue Trader tonight. We had a bomb dropped on us last session, which I completely forgot about until about an hour before the show. We were asking, hey, so what happened last time? Oh, fuck, really?
Whoopsie!
So,
which was, by the way, it was a mission on like I'd had that mission on the list as a potential option since maybe 4 sessions ago. So that was like 4 months ago. I wrote that down. So I assume maybe you would probably take that one, but it was in there for a while. It was not a new development.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we went back to Port Wanderer. Jarnan and Emmaus spoke with the Ecclesiarchy about the situation on Valentine. Venari and Kynnoch went over to the tech priests to discuss the warp null goo. We gave them a vial of that for them to try to see if they could figure out what it is, and then possibly we could capitalize on that. And then so Kynnoch stirred up some trouble between Venari and Emmaus, potentially. Made Venari really paranoid. And then we got some information about the mining colony being attacked. And as we investigated the video, we found out, dun, 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 that Kayne is still alive and using maybe semi-sentient creatures to attack
yeah. Creatures that did not have an organized society, but are humanoid enough to be dangerous. Yeah, that's what you saw in the video. Humanoid type creatures that did not have, say, like organized cities or societies that perhaps he has somehow wrangled to raid the mining base that you and security perimeter that you've been building.
There you go. So we're going to talk about this for like an hour, and then maybe we'll do something and jump to the planet.
Yeah, there might be a die roll like in, I don't know, like 120 or 30 minutes, just in case you're wondering. Anyway. But yes, that is currently what you've learned. There are other irons in the fire as well. I believe that's what you chose to pursue. So you are you're at Port Wonder currently, as far as I know. After learning that information, I think that was the cliffhanger. So you can discuss how you would like to deal with that. I believe that's what you decided to pursue. But again, if anyone needs refreshers, let me know on other things that have come up. If you want to be like, wait a minute, are there other things? So
I thought we did discuss it and not ended like quite like on cliffhanger and stuff. Because I thought like, because or maybe we talked about it afterwards. I can't remember. I didn't really listen to the show.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yes, you did choose. I think you knew all the other options, but just didn't like.
I don't think that we would let this pass. Go do something else.
Yeah, no. From what I remember, we talked about it like out of character about how weird and fucked up it was.
Yeah,
but we never actually discussed anything in game about it.
Okay.
Right. So okay, that I didn't know. So yeah, you essentially know that. Yes, there's video footage was sent from Kayne's security division, right? That was left on the planet, right? They're the ones in charge of security for the mining. So they recognized him and sent it as like oh shit, by the way, we've been getting raided and we didn't know why we couldn't stop them. FYI, it's not entirely our fault. It's an arch militant. Like, we're not arch militants, and he has help. So please help.
He's an arch militant, and he has monkey helpers.
Yeah, like he has servant monkeys that are can rip a guy's arm off. So help us. They're not monkeys per se, but yeah, they definitely are dangerous. So.
All right. So Venari just kind of like he flops back in the seat, like shocked that he assumed that Kayne was probably dead. I mean, after what we had faced on that planet going out, and he freaked out and like just took off. He's like, I mean, Jarnan, do you think there's any way that we could possibly save him? I mean, he is one of the Emperor's children, is he not?
He may very well be one of the Emperor's children, but he's working against the Emperor right now. So if he can't be saved, he'll just have to be stopped.
I mean, I think we have to at least try. Maybe he feels like we left him there. I mean, we did look. I mean, clearly we made attempts to try to return him to the crew.
Didn't he leave us there?
I mean, he did, but he was under duress at the time.
Well, he seems to have made his choice.
It's unfortunate.
Just like the church, they're like, made his choice. Goodbye. Black meet white. Sorry.
Perhaps there'll be a chance where we could at least attempt to communicate to determine his reasons.
I'm all for communicating with him. I am also all for putting him out of his misery if communications do not work.
I mean, I suppose you're right. It's the hell of a thing.
Sometimes people just break, and it's at that time that you need to finish the job.
When you say people break, he kind of like sits up a little bit and sort of like fixes his cloak. Since you went up running away from the last thing. All right. If we don't have any further business here at Port Wander, I suppose we should make haste. I guess perhaps we should contact the mining colony or our crew to let them know that we are inbound, and we will attempt to salvage this situation.
Okay. Are you going to use like astropath communication, I'm guessing, to contact them?
Have to. Yeah.
Yeah. You have you have your choir on your ship. Contact the choir. Obviously, there's some amount of ritual that occurs in order for them to dial in right to the correct choir in order to transmit a message. They are grateful that you have heard their communication and that you are inbound, and the choir relays, it's not necessarily like dire, right? Like it's not like it's an invasion or anything, like an incursion yet. It's more like they've mostly raided supplies, weapons, resources, essentially. So it's kind of more skirmish guerrilla hits to grab and loot what they can.
That's how it starts.
Yes.
Yep.
Well,
guerrilla attacks using armed gorillas.
Sure.
You're not saying no.
I'm not saying no. So yeah, they essentially they're like, it is an issue, and they are, they're definitely grateful for reinforcement. But yeah, they're not like try to get here so fast that you tear a hole in the warp. Not that I think you could actually, I don't think you can choose to do that anyway, so you're okay. But
well, unless you arrived 3 days before you left, I guess.
Yes, you can do that. I mean, that's possible.
Yes,
sure.
You can.
I mean, that is totally able to be done. But yeah, they're not going to be like gone when you get there. Okay. You, I assume, are leaving then? And you just want to do a standard jump?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we cleared stuff with the Administratum. Jarnan placated the Ecclesiarchy. Tech priests are going to be working for a while. I don't think we have anything that necessarily needs to be handled. I guess my Amasec came, and we've got the couple of the local watering hole stock.
Can't forget that.
Hallerman brand stuff, yeah.
Yep. Okay, let me then. I don't. Why is this doing this to me? This is like the worst. I feel it's like opening PDFs in fucking Explorer or something weird, which I don't understand. So I'm trying to find the rules on the ship jump again.
I got
there we go. Navigating the warp. Okay.
I made myself a little cheat sheet.
All right. So, do you estimate how long it's going to take with a navigation warp test? With difficulty applied, you've been there, so the difficulty is not incredibly different, obviously.
All right, so let's see. Boom. That is a 62 out of 85. Or sorry, out of 78.
Okay. You believe it will take a month in real time to jump there from Port Wander.
I can live with that.
You relay that, I assume, to the captain.
Yes.
You know the location. You've made a warp map, and you have a route. So it should take a month.
All right. I'll say we'll probably we'll probably Kynnoch actually when we make warp jumps isn't on the bridge itself. He's kind of up in the watchtower. and he conveys to one of his assistants that then conveys down to an assistant that's on the bridge.
Okay. So you now need to locate the Astronomicon as you relay the information.
Right.
That is a +10 to your threshold awareness test.
For an awareness. And all right. That is... I am going to fate point that.
Yikes.
That was a 92 out of 68.
It does give you a -10 for everything after when you roll badly on this.
Yeah.
So
let's see.
touche.
So I have an ability. Where is it? Let's see.
Let's hope you have an ability because it would help you. And this one affects every other roll.
Right, exactly.
All rolls coming up. So it's nice
Here we go.
to re-roll
So,
this one.
yeah. So I have a taste of the warp. So the navigator can spend a fate point to automatically succeed in using a navigator power if degrees of success are relevant to the effects of the power. Oh, that's a power.
Mm-hmm.
Not my... Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't be necessarily...
All right, well, in that case, I'll burn a fate to... Well, not burn. I'll
to reroll. Yeah, spend a fate to reroll. Sure. Yeah. Go for it. Definitely.
Yeah, that's
bad. That ain't
that's
great.
a really bad roll. That's better. That is a 50 out of 68.
Okay, so that is +10 now to all of your ongoing rolls.
Okay.
So you could have got a +10 if you were in the bridge because I could have yelled at you a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You weren't there. He can't tell you.
Yeah.
So you get a +10
calm.
for every degree of success. You add a +10 to any navigation warp skills going forward. Okay, I guess the next one is charting the course. Mm-hmm. So that's actually a perception, not a navigate warp. So that's a +10 to your perception test to chart the course through the ever-changing tides of the warp.
All right. So I have a +10 to this. Plus, it's already a +10 perception. So it's in effect a +20. Right.
Not a +10 actually from your previous roll. This is for perception. It's only for
this
navigation.
is just... Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Gotcha.
So it's actually the next one that...
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Oh, that is a 72 out of 68. So a 0-sum fail.
Okay. Sure. You see a clear path through the warp.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, you must engage engines and the Geller field as you choose to move through the warp. Mm-hmm. So, you make a navigation warp test with a +10 to determine how well you do.
All right. And at this point, as the camera cuts up to him, I don't know why. I imagine that he's like fully disrobed, or at least like the hood and everything, and all of his assistants are blindfolded, just so they don't fucking freak out because of him.
One of them comes running in and is like, "The captain told me to tell you don't fuck stuff up. I mean anything? I'm sorry, sir, but that's what he said."
Should have sent the skull. The skull could yell at him.
See, you're thinking now.
You're thinking with your noggin.
The floating one.
All right, so navigate warp, and this is with the +10, and so we have I am rolling like shit today. But that is, let's see, 53, 63, 73, 80. That is a 78 out of 83.
Oh,
right.
Okay. All right. This is going to be fun because now I'm engaging full warp terror.
Oh, shit.
Okay, I won't amp it up but I'm gonna do. Before I would only have you roll one or two times on the table, but every 5 days you're supposed to roll for warp travel encounters.
Oh.
But for a month, let's say I'm going to half it at 3. So, unfortunately, you did not get any bonus on your. Let me just double check because I believe it says you do not. You only get a yes. So you did not make that. So you just roll straight on 100 3 times.
All
First
right.
time, and go one at a time, and I'll describe it
65.
as you go.
Can I roll under 50, please?
What was that?
I said, can I roll under 50, please?
No. Well, maybe. Not
yet.
What is your Ooh, I like that. As you're going through the warp, obviously the warp, the Gellerfields engage, you start slipping into the void, and as everyone starts feeling sort of nauseous and slightly askew, the ship starts rocking and shuddering fairly violently as swells in the warp burst forth unseen from your eye. Give me a navigator check.
Okay. Warp check?
Yes, navigator warp.
Okay. That is a 57 out of 73.
Okay, as you go, luckily you are able to maneuver the ship through the warp unharmed, though it certainly could have been worse, as the swells are known to shear armor off of ships. But you maintain control and make your way through the warp storm. As it calms, roll again.
Oh. 16.
Not good on this one, actually.
Everybody gets a puppy. No, come on.
Oh, I like that one's even
There-
better.
there are
That
no
one's
good
even
rolls
better. Yeah. As you're going, you feel like things are okay. You think.
That's not good.
And then another roll.
Okay.
Is this session 19, I'm guessing? I think.
72.
Ooh, that's a good one. Higher is better on this table. So,
Oh, real? Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is the one table higher seems to always be better.
I should have John rolling on these then.
You're right.
Let me see. Hold on.
Although I don't know, I did just make what? 1, 2, 3.
You did
4,
pretty
5,
well.
7. I made 7 rolls and only one of them was under 50. So that's
Yeah, not
not great.
Not really the best. So what was that one?
72.
72. In this case, okay. Everyone sleeps. It's sort of unsettled sleep for most of the crew. You have sort of strange dreams and visions. Kynnoch in particular sees sees himself as a priest of a people unsaved, or a leader of people unsaved, and is he's sort of shouting portents and encouragement and gaining favor for a sort of a primitive people who are starting to follow him as he sends them out to sort of have a more organized civilization gathering, division of work. And in return,
It's a prophecy.
yeah, yeah. It is important, you believe. Others just sort of feel. Most of the other dreams are sort of a sense of betrayal, and not someone betraying you, like you betraying someone.
But I'm
Like,
okay with that.
Screwing over a friend, or the train philosophy argument, like, oh, you switch the track or whatever. But it's like, you switch the track, you don't take one for the team. You get hit by the other. You pull the lever, and the other person gets hit by the train, and that sort of stuff. And even during your waking hours, you hear whispers and sort of muted voices saying, don't forget me, that sort of stuff.
I just imagine like Venari's nightmare is him as they were leaving the planet the first time, pressed up against one of the windows in the hole, and he like sees Kayne burst through the forest, like the woods lining. He's like, no.
It's like Platoon.
Right.
Yeah.
And then periodically during the day, he just hears, "You left me behind. You leave me alone. Why'd you leave me here?"
Yep. And the whole thing is what's it called? Never mind. Joke lost. Jacob's ladder scenario. It's all his deathbed.
So Venari looks haggard then after all that. Because he did like Kayne.
Yeah,
Kayne
but how does the
2.
dream affect him?
That's what I'm saying. He looks all haggard and shit. Like
I said, how does the dream affect him? Because I'm saying that you always look haggard. And
right.
Is what, yeah, there you go.
Otherwise, you make it in about a month's time as you disengage warp close enough to the planet in system. All known communications relays interact appropriately. All clearances are given. There is still a transport, like freighter ship, encircling the planet. You don't need scanners for that. Their beacon is broadcasting to you. So construction is still ongoing, but it's getting there. The main facility is up and running. They are now doing more, finishing sort of the extras, the armor, armors, defenses. That's just the mining rigs are all already going and generating profits. And then, now they're kind of doing the finishing touches and starting to, build out from there for the infrastructure you would need to actually maintain this for long periods of time. Your base is, I wouldn't say like skeletal. I would say, it's utilitarian, but functional as security for the perimeter.
Okay, but not fully like stocked out and all that stuff yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a full like battalion or anything like hanging out ready to do shit. It's still like a crew of guys. Like you might have 50 to 100 guys that were there. Mostly because there wasn't really a reason for more than that previously.
Yeah, we left the 97 that survived. We put one of Kayne's guys in charge.
Yeah. So it's like they didn't really, it's a big area, but like you didn't really need more than that because there wasn't an organized population to attack you. So you didn't have any reason for anything else. So that's currently the situation. Everything's broadcasting though. Nothing seems dark when you enter system.
All right. So I guess did comms work to planetside right from the ship?
Yes, assuming you are not doing anything before you get to orbit, yes, they would work to planet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything happens in the warp, right? I mean, unless anybody.
No, like once you drop out of warp,
Yeah.
unless you want to do something, like if you're just going to go into orbit and communicate, you're unimpeded.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Sure.
Unless anybody pipes up, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so he just points to the engineer to flip the switches and bring up the I guess the headquarters down there, wherever the mining people are located at.
Are you communicating with the mining establishment or your people specifically?
I think the mine first.
Okay.
To get their read on things.
Sure.
Okay.
The communication is established. You hear an operator. Your person hears, transmission accepted. All beacon is authorized. Please feel free to speak freely. They authorize that it is a command level ship, and they forward it to the highest level of rank at the facility.
Okay.
Yes. Is this who am I speaking to?
I could ask the same. This is Rogue Trader Venari Hallerman.
Ah, Rogue Trader Hallerman. It's great to hear from you. My name. Pardon?
I said
Sorry.
Indeed.
The communications are. Obviously, there's some interference at this distance. I assume you're in orbit.
Yes, we've just arrived. Can you give me a status report?
The colony's doing well. The facility is operational, and production seems good. I wouldn't say great, but I plan on fixing that as we have some optimization to do still. But obviously, I'm assuming, as you've heard, we've spoken with your men. There's a bit of a liability that's unresolved from a previous crew member of yours. Some raids have been performed lately, and some very valuable technology and resources have been stolen from us. Things that obviously won't jeopardize the overall mission, but would have certainly made things a smoother ride. Things that I'd rather not have to overcome as a speed bump to our operations.
Indeed. If you could forward a list of material that has been absconded with, we can look that over. We had assumed that the crew member in question had perished when we were here. Apparently, that is not the case. Unfortunately, the PDF troopers that we have left, the mercenaries that we have left, may not be equal to the task, I suppose. So we have come to deal with this personally. We hope to set things right as quickly as possible.
Well, I want to thank you personally for taking, as far as the merchants, as far as my house is concerned, it shows great partnership that you're willing to intercede directly in such a case. I understand, obviously, that you believed in such adverse conditions that a crew member may have been lost, but apparently he is more resourceful than any of us would have anticipated. And as such, I believe, have you seen the footage?
We have seen at least some. We were forwarded a clip from my men.
We haven't received much. I believe your man has been directing many of the raids personally, And so he's quite adept at evading surveillance from our security teams, regardless of how well we place cameras. Even your men, even his, of course, I understand his man trained under him is still unable to always, or even many times, determine the breach point as well as tactics used. But we have captured some surveillance, as you have alluded to. It seems the local fauna may be more dangerous than we initially evaluated, perhaps only because they are now organized. I believe he is in some way commanding them. We did not foresee such an resistance when creating the colony. But these are the things we have to deal with in exploration, right?
Oh no!
You're muted.
Damn it! I thought I hit the button.
Edit!
Indeed. If he'd only been as resourceful when he was with the crew. It's a shame.
I find it unfortunate that he seemed to find his way in the wilds then against the Emperor's goodwill and not advancing the mission of the Emperor and, of course, the houses of the merchants.
No, I suppose he has found his element. If you can also forward any other footage that you may have, we may be able to analyze that for tactics, perhaps. You never know what we might pick up from there. We'll definitely give that a once over. We should be down shortly. My investment now, what the hell does he say? It behooves us to. I don't know what he wants to say, because they're cut in on the business, right? I mean, they get a percent.
Yeah.
It behooves us to pay particular attention to our investments, and of course, help our friends when they may need.
Of course, and we appreciate the help. I assume you'll be making landfall soon enough?
Shortly, indeed.
Excellent. I'll be looking forward to seeing you. Ask for Redford Brant. I'll be waiting for you if you must speak with me. Your men are obviously positioned at the forward perimeter.
Excellent. I will contact you if we need you.
Brant out.
Hallerman out. Well, we have it, gentlemen. I suggest we review the footage on the shuttle ride down. We go over the manifest and see if there's anything that we may recover once we find where Kayne is hiding out, and return what we may to the colony.
Captain, I have a concern that Kayne's been able to accomplish as much as he has been. Do we maybe need to talk to some of the men we left behind that Kayne used to be in charge of to see if there is any kind of wavering loyalties or inside connections that he may be using?
I suppose that's a possibility. Mercenaries, I mean, they go where the money is. I mean, we've paid them well enough. I don't believe that Kayne would have anything to offer. I don't question. I don't remember which guy's name we left on the thing, but
let me see. I'll look and see if I can find it.
Say the man that we left in, that I have left in charge, I believe, is loyal to us enough. But a worthwhile investigation may be necessary. Of course, we want to talk to those troops and see what their interactions have been while we've been away.
It might be worth, if we do have any questions or concerns, to have our friend Jarnan maybe speak to them, get to the root of the issue a lot quicker.
I'm sure he would.
John
One
just
way-
kind of nods.
It's because it's all well and good taking care of this problem now, but we just want to make sure that if Kayne is the main source of the problem, we eliminate that there isn't any, and no one else gets any other ideas from what Kayne has been doing.
It's we may have to make an example of him before everyone, but it's a touchy situation. We'll have to handle this as delicately as we can.
And then we all look at Jarnan and look away really quickly.
He's already like carving out a notch in the thing.
Exactly.
I can be delicate.
I don't know. I like to think that Jarnan then takes a glimpse down at the muzzle of his flamer and sees Kayne's initials that he carved into it.
To be fair, he was almost dead, so
Just remember,
I-
Kayne saved your life.
And I shall save his soul.
Yikes.
nice.
Perfect.
So I guess, is there anything? So we should probably pick up. I don't want to do like a shopping thing, but so like stummers, like reduced noise, like whatever. Like I hate to be so general. It'd be like, oh yeah, we have all of the things that we need, but I would,
Yeah,
Right.
what do you want? Like, what are you looking for? Because you're going to have to specify how, like, what specifics you're looking for. Like,
'cause to go down, it's just us, right? Because we have 97 guys, or minus whatever was.
yeah,
killed.
you have those guys. Yep. But then the
Um,
question is, like, if you want specialty
Yep.
stuff. And
Everyone has a
or-
missile launcher.
Yeah, like you gotta
And-
say, like, what else
Oh,
do
shit, that's
we
my
want?
Oh, I broke my case. What a fuck me, right? God damn it. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing shopping then, I guess. So we have
I mean, shopping in the
sense that
like
yeah,
like what do you want your crew, like what are you landing with without having, like, you could call back, right, to get additional stuff that's going to take time, but like hours to some point, but like
well, we had frags on the shuttle already. I think we established, right?
yeah, like stuff like that. Anything common you have.
Yeah.
I would assume anything common you have, as long as you are saying ahead of time, unless it's like crazy. Like anything common, I think you could have on you now that you know what you're getting into.
Yeah. So I would say we certainly bring that. Fuck, I don't know. Let's see. Those are scarce. You see, the environment was like shit, right? So maybe survival suits. I don't know how they work specifically. I'm trying to look.
I mean, it's like
Yeah, it's got like power cells in it. It
it's
moderates.
not it's jungle. Survivable jungle. So not like anything to the point of like you need like
So it's not an extreme environment then.
no, it's not an extreme event. It's like Predator
Yeah. Okay.
style. Not Predator that you're getting attacked by, but like Predator, like jungle. Like yeah, like essentially you know,
So probably the hand scanners in. Like we'll bring Auspex with us.
sure.
We've got the frags. Fuck, I don't know, guys. What do you think?
Kynnoch has everything he needs in the middle of his forehead.
Yeah, and if we're in jungle, I would make sure Jarnan goes first. He can do a bit of exfoliate or deforestation. Exfoliation, that's the wrong word. Deforestation.
That's some
I would
hardcore
assume-
exfoliating.
We bring at least one med kit then too, since those are common as well.
Yeah,
Like the regular med
I mean,
kit.
everyone. I mean, if you want to have, I mean, it depends. It depends if you're planning on taking only your guys, like you, or if you're going to have like extra people as well. You know, you may have like multiple people. Like you might have multiple med kits, right? Like you don't need to say like I have like between the four of us, there's this many. Like I'm not going to relate it to that, but like you could have if you have like a squad with you. Then that's the other question is, are you taking like
I think we probably
are you planning
bring
on like
guys with us.
marching an entire fucking like battalion, like, you know, thousands of people through, right? Versus like we're gonna take our best people, we're gonna do this, and that's, you know.
I mean, we don't have like a ton of information, so we don't know like what his potential force size is. So I think the command crew goes down.
Yeah.
And then I think I would suggest that we probably grab like 10 meat shields to take with us because they're getting paid. They might as well earn their money.
Yeah, sure.
Do we want to equip, 2 of those guys with flamers? Just, to exfoliate.
I could just bring a couple of my acolytes with me. They have flamers.
Yeah, I mean, they're trained with it. I mean, that's the other option. Maybe bring like 2 guys down, you in the center and one of those guys on either end, the formation.
Yeah, that could work.
I mean, I think that would be super helpful, especially in this environment.
Agreed.
Okay, so we do all those things.
Okay. Do we want to do we want to try to do a sensor scan to see if we can find what we're looking at, how many we're looking at, or are we just gonna spitball it?
Well, so we'll review the footage on the shuttle on the way down.
On the way down, okay.
See if there's a certain area. I guess if it's a static camera, they come in from here, you can't really tell. But if they have other cameras, maybe we could see where they're coming from. If we get a sense of direction or whatever. But then once we get down there, we could use the shuttle to scan, like you're saying. And then we've got, 2 of Kayne / Venari's guys. We got 1 guy on the door gun. And then, Emmaus is going to be piloting. But then when we go down, we need, the other guy who's going to pilot while we're taking care of business, I guess. Because if they're 100 clicks out, we're not fucking marching through the jungle. We're going to go and drop in and take care of shit and then jump out.
Okay.
I assume they're relatively close. If he's humping it through the jungle, right? So,
well, yeah, they don't have transporters or anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So I guess on the ride down, does anybody have can we make some kind of knowledge check on the footage to try to glean some information, or is there just not enough?
I mean, what are you looking?
Like a tactics thing,
I mean,
does he consistently come in with, a group under 10? Does it, is a certain area of the compound being hit repeatedly?
Sure. You can give me it's got to be some sort of either tactics or Imperium War type or that sort of thing, like some sort of role that goes somewhere in that.
Oh,
Common Law Imperium.
Imperium I have, but I think
Be
that's
like-
a knowledge of like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would have to be like war or tactics or maybe logic if someone
I think I-
really wanted to argue that. You could
I have Forbidden Law Heresy, and he looks like a heretic.
I actually have logic.
That would be heresy would get you a little different. It would give you different information, but you could use that if you wanted. It would not be what it wouldn't be exactly what is being discussed currently, but it wouldn't necessarily be bad.
All right, well, I have logic if you want to allow me to make that roll.
Sure,
All
I'll
right,
let you do logic.
all right, cool.
Finally, Venari uses some logic.
Ooh, I got a 61 out of what the fuck is this based off of? Int?
37.
And yeah,
Nope, out of 40. Didn't get it.
okay,
No, I'm sorry, out of 50. I have a plus 10 to that. Believe it or not.
okay. You still didn't make it, right?
No, I didn't
So-
make it.
Yeah. So you're not sure.
Yeah.
Like you don't see anything like any patterns per se.
Yeah, can't correlate anything. Okay, I mean that makes sense, but yeah. So he spends an hour or so just kind of like pouring over footage.
Yeah. You don't see anything.
Okay.
Anything else before you're landing, I assume, on a shuttle?
Mm-hmm.
Are you moving toward are you going to your base of like the forward base or the main mining operation?
As they land, Venari would ask, "All right, what do you guys think? Do we want to poke around here, take a look, boots on the ground, and kind of get a feel for this establishment here to see points of ingress, egress, that sort of stuff, or do you want to just head right out?"
So is Kayne attacking the forward base, or is he going for the main mine complex? I don't know if we'd said that yet, or if that was discovered from the footage.
Well, mostly he's mostly been hitting the main base supply areas.
Okay, so not our forward base, the main mining area we're at now.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, more not like the entire
yeah, just the
stuff, mostly just stuff.
yeah. Okay.
Like storage areas, mainly technology, armor, weapons, components, that sort of stuff.
So I think we should focus maybe here, maybe talk to some of the people here to get a better idea if there is, as you said, any kind of pattern, rhythm, timing, and maybe start setting up some people around the main stuff that has been attacked in the past, just to be on guard.
Do they have any of their own security, or is it just us providing security?
Just you.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's do that. Let's take a look around here first, and then we'll go talk to the troops, see what they've been doing. Clearly
Okay.
not their job.
Sure. Okay. You're taking a look around.
The main mining complex to see the supply. Like, so if they're dropping supplies and they're being taken to a central location that he's raiding, that he wants
Sure.
to take a look around there.
Okay.
They would just randomly talk to, supply guy X. Were you on that night? Did you see anything? Blah blah blah, whatever. Were you guys doing anything different? Try locking the fucking doors next time.
Okay, you want to go to sure. You go to the main storage warehouse, like the equipment storage warehouse. The sort of the the warehouse supervisor sort of walks out. Hello? What are you doing here? Who are you?
I am Rogue Trader Venari Hallerman. This is my command staff. We're here investigating the attacks on the complex. Anything you can share with us that might be informative?
Shouldn't you be talking with Redford? He's the one in charge of the operation. I'm authorized to talk to you. What is it? What is it you'd like to know?
Any information that you may provide. I've spoken to Redford already. You know how these things get. The further up the chain they get, the less of a handle on the real situation on the ground. Your work here, this is your area. Have you
Sure.
seen anything in particular? Are you doing anything different to change your routine? Do supplies come down at the same time all the time? Are you varying, your shipments?
I mean, certainly, we're not simply sitting on our laurels waiting to be scavenged or raided, whatever it is you'd like to call it. We're not stupid. We have tried to increase patrols. We've increased our surveillance capabilities as per, I believe, your men are the ones charged with protecting this facility. It is their shortcoming, if anything, that is leading to these raids being successful. We've asked them for additional manpower, and they said they're providing as much as possible. We've asked for as much automated security as possible, and again, they've provided it, but seems whoever's doing these raids is quite capable tactically. They haven't been able to stop the groups doing this. They don't steal, obviously, tonnage of equipment, but valuable equipment that, again, would be helpful in protecting us again from these raids. Obviously, weapons, surveillance, shielding, those sorts of things would be very helpful for us. It's not stopping us from protecting ourselves, but we're a very large target. As I'm sure you're aware, it's difficult to stop any small forces from simply breaking in and grabbing what they can and running into the jungle. It's dense. That's your men's problem, not mine.
Indeed, remember this site only exists because we cleared it for you, and those men did it. Keep that in mind.
I don't care how it was cleared. I was told we'd be protected, and we haven't been.
Have you been harmed?
I am armed. You see, like, he has
Harmed.
a pistol.
No, I asked him if he was harmed.
Oh. No. Personally, no. But that's the point. These incursions are stealthy. They are planned. They are executed with precision. They aren't meant, as far as I can determine currently, to bring harm to any of the personnel or your men. Simply to procure supplies. However, my concern is that these supplies are not entirely benign. They could be used eventually for more nefarious activities, to do damage to our site, to the mining operation itself.
Of course, that's why we're here. To settle this matter once and for all.
Indeed, I never questioned whether you would or would not be able to stop such incursions. I'm happy for your assistance.
Have you found anything? Have they left anything here? Any signs?
No, not really. No, nothing other than footprints. Obviously, in some cases, as far as equipment, it's our equipment that we're finding, modified to some degree. But that's all.
He just turns to look to Crew, see if anybody has anything to add.
No, not really.
Nah, it doesn't seem like he knows anything really important anyway.
He's kind of uppity. I want to stab him in the face, but
Kynnoch nods his head and goes, sounds like this is a very impressive man.
Venari just kind of gives you the side eye. All right, well, we'll leave you to it. We will go and talk to Redford, I suppose.
As you wish. Whatever you believe will end this struggle.
He's walking away. He's not even listening anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go. You're moving to the command center of the mining compound to speak with Redford.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he would just talk to the guys and be like, hey, we should. So we want to. I guess see if he has any other information. I mean, we already talked to him. I don't know that he's useful at all. We just go and talk to the guys.
Yeah, I would think so. Talk to our guys. We're not going to get any more information from anyone who isn't part of us or taking any of our largesse. I think people we pay may help us more than people we're not paying.
Well, if they want to continue to get paid, they will.
Exactly.
All right. So he just turns and makes a so how far is our base from the mining complex? Because it's not near it. It's enough to be away that we were going to be.
Yeah, I would assume unless you say otherwise, a mile.
Yeah,
out.
it's fine as long as they're not expanding in that direction. I'm sure we had some sort of an agreement that this was going to be offset away.
Yeah, it's its own thing for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, not it's not 20 miles away, but yeah,
right.
A mile from the sort of center of the mining operation, a mile from the external wall of the furthest toward it of the mining facility.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess they jump on the shuttle then and head over that way.
Okay.
And then in between, so as they're flying, he says to Emmaus, he says, "Hey, why don't you just scan everything in between here and there, see if anything shows up. I know it's really dense. There's a lot of vegetation, a lot of animal life, but let's see if anything sort of stands out in between here and there."
Okay. Will do. And that's going to be... Is that just part of the... I'm just trying to think.
It'd be scrutiny.
Scrutiny, I think.
And then the shuttle doesn't really have enhanced aspects.
Okay, so it would just be... Yeah, it would just be regular scrutiny. Okay. And that is perception. That is a 57 out of 40 now, so failed by 2.
It's definitely too dense. You can't make out individual, like there's nothing other than you see like sort of obscured vegetation,
Yeah.
the canopy.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Even if he yelled at me, that wouldn't help. So,
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
so Captain, it's a bit too dense, too overgrown. Not really getting anything back at the moment. Might be better just to get on the ground and actually use our own eyes instead of the equipment to see what we can see.
Fair enough. I thought that might be the case. I think we had a similar issue when we were here last time. All right.
Okay. You land close to your facility. It's it's quite well established. I mean, it's utilitarian, but it's certainly combat worthy. And you approach, I assume, you leave and are saluted by one of the officers at the ready. Lord Captain, we were made aware of your arrival. Our man is waiting for you as we speak.
All right. Then we'll get to it.
You're led through the base, through quarters areas, storage areas, stockpiles, that sort of stuff, into the command area where you see Kayne's man, who remained as head of the security staff. Greetings, Lord Captain.
Greetings. What news other than what we've already heard? Anything?
Unfortunately, there's no new news to deliver to you. The raids have been somewhat infrequent, but substantial. They haven't gained in frequency, but it's something I believe we need to deal with sooner rather than later. And unfortunately, with just myself and the militia that has stayed behind, we don't have the resources or expertise to track down and eliminate the threat. I'm sure you understand. I have no qualms eliminating the hostile parties if necessary, but by training, we are a bit mismatched.
And the forces that he's using, have you been able to determine what they are exactly? Doesn't seem like anything that we saw when we were here before.
Yes, they're not any of the they're not the wild species roaming the planet. Unfortunately, there were a number of semi-sentient species. We believe one of them is the one in particular. Population based primarily northeast of the site, of hostile, only hostile, I guess, if you invade their territory, but potentially hostile creatures with savage beaks and claws, perhaps avian in ancestry. I'm not sure. But as far as we knew, they didn't organize. They were more individualized, sort of hunter-gatherer populations, and typically stayed away from any technologically advanced areas. The sounds and smells, that sort of thing, from the mining operation tended obviously to drive them away. but unfortunately, with apparently some leadership, they seem to have embraced the ability to gain additional resources than they would have normally been capable of obtaining.
So he says avian. Venari kind of like squints, looks up. Can I make a forbidden lore Xenos? See, that sounds like Kroot.
Sure.
All right. What am I rolling against here? Let's see. Ooh, 46. That might do it. Forbidden lore Xenos is int. Oh, I got a 40. Fuck.
It sounds like potentially, but you wouldn't have known them to be here.
Yeah.
Like it sounds so. I mean, you recognize that is a species that's known, sort of, but typically a little more. They would be potentially more organized.
Typically, they're more advanced. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little more organized, advanced than what you've heard. And from the footage you've seen, you couldn't recognize them either.
Okay. I don't know if any of you guys kind of looks at Jarnan, have heard of the Kroot. Sounds like it could potentially be them, although from what I've heard, they're typically more advanced than this. Although it could be some lost colony, I suppose. I don't know that anybody else would know about them.
No, I don't think so.
I have not heard of that species, but they all suck.
I just imagine Jarnan raises an eyebrow like, well, how do you know about these?
They're like, there was a whole fiasco of me wiping all of them out.
Yeah, I was reading the Space Inquirer, and this, fucking chick had her baby. It was a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was real bad. It was so crazy, guys.
So what have you been doing at the facility to increasing patrols? What apparently you've had no success so far.
Of course, Lord Captain, I apologize for our inability to stop the incursions. We've increased patrols. We've increased, obviously, our surveillance perimeter. Unfortunately, as I assume you know and that we believe, Kayne may be the leader of this incursion. He left with some amount of psychological issues, as you know. I think perhaps if he had gone feral with his skills, he may have incited a local Xenos population to become more organized and hostile in their pursuits. He wouldn't make missteps, even if completely out of his mind. He still knows basic tactics, and I would imagine is still exceptionally dangerous. He's able to evade many of our defenses because he knows how these defenses are set up. He knows how we think. So even at the best of times, I'm not sure we would be able to stop him without directly tracking him down. And in this case, we have tried. But again, I'm the most trained of the group, and I'm not nearly as well trained as he is. He's stolen items and equipment that I think may be partially obscuring their operations.
Kynnoch will, you can't tell, but he kind of like smirks under his cloth. Will say, Captain, this gentleman seems very powerful and smart, and well suited and a very strong leader. I would not be surprised if we enter combat with him, if at the very least Emmaus dies.
What would give you that feeling or that premonition?
Oh, no, nothing at all. Just-
An interesting observation, Kynnoch.
Just throwing it out there, buddy. Anywho, let's go on. Yikes.
Okay, yeah, we'll let that go for a minute.
Well, it seems we have our work cut out for us here. What about the morale of the men? Do they seem to be handling their duties here well?
Certainly, they're well disciplined. I've been able to keep them in line. No one is obviously with the scale of any of these raids. It's not particularly worrisome, other than, of course, their pride. We don't believe there's some mass attack mounting, but of course we want to nip this in the bud sooner rather than later. As more resources are gained, we believe if Kayne is the one, and I believe from footage that he is the one leading this, he will obtain more significant fortifications and more significant weaponry. And in which case, I'm not sure what his goal is, but we certainly could be a target for him as a way of gaining both resources and, of course, if the facility was overtaken, an ability to negotiate for the significant amount of thrones.
Well, we must not allow that to happen. I did not have this. He kind of waves his hand around, to the facility that they're in. This place built just to have it taken out from under us by a former crew member.
Indeed. I wish I were able to stop his attacks outright, but unfortunately, as we are equipped currently, I've been unable to, sir. I apologize for the failure.
Well, we will see that it's done. Some of the men will be earning their stripes while we're here.
Anything you need, Lord Captain, I'll be willing to provide it. I will personally see to it as we move forward to end this insurrection, if you will.
Gather the 10 most capable under your tutelage. Have them assembled. We'll give them
Indeed.
a once over. They will be accompanying us. As to the facility, it seems things have been put in order. Everything had been built to specifications. Any complaints?
Everything, as far as I'm concerned, seems within order. We are well equipped, and I appreciate your support. I don't believe anything else could be done aside from the intervention of better trained, perhaps better equipped operatives such as yourself to track down and eliminate the threat. That's why we reached out to you.
Indeed. He, again, just turns to the crew, looking for any additional input.
Do we want to go out and try to beat the bushes and flush them out? Or do you think we could set some stuff out that's high value for what Kayne and these has been attacking, setting a trap? Or do you think he'd be too savvy to fall for something like that?
I feel based on the information that we have that he would be more savvy than that. We haven't been able to glean any sort of patterns or anything such as that in his behavior, so we could sit here for weeks before he potentially bit on something as obvious as that.
Also, he more than likely saw our shuttle land, and he knows somebody else is here. He may not know it's exactly us, but he knows somebody arrived.
Yeah, so it's the fact that it's, we can't set anything out. He probably wouldn't fall for that anyways. And the fact that there's movement and now people showing up would probably tip him off anyways. I'm just trying to think of the best way other than us just rushing out and, going blind out and trying to find them. But I guess that's what we have all the extra troops here for.
He turns back to the guy and says, you have any, show me on the map where you guys have already searched.
He shows you perimeter to the northeast somewhat. And then, obviously surrounding the areas, obviously not within like internal toward the mining area. But it's dense jungle and various other terrains, so it's not entirely easy to discern. Like there may be places there's obviously places you could have missed. You can't get every square inch.
Sure. Yeah, he just wants like a general, like, hey, we searched this area, we searched, over here.
Yeah.
Stuff around the, right around the base. And
I mean, for the most part, it's like, like mining colony, you guys are up this way.
Mm-hmm.
And they've kind of done like this sweep.
Yeah. And then they initially thought that that these creatures were further north and east from where we were.
Yeah.
So,
that's the thought.
Yeah. And it says, I suppose we travel north. Assemble the men. We will, I guess we'll probably head out at dawn, right? I don't know what like time of the day is or whatever. I mean, we wouldn't obviously go in the middle of the night, but
I think you could. Yeah, it wouldn't be let's say you're there. Yeah, sometime midday. So you would basically, go wait till the next morning, I assume.
Yeah, start, looking at the maps, talking. He would, so Venari is a schmooze, right? So he would like talk to a lot of the troopers, see how they're making out, kind of test to see how morale's been, because they got hired and then they got marched through the jungle and then just like fucking left here. I mean, they're working, right? They're providing security. It's not like they're
sure. Yeah, they're doing things. Okay, give me so how are you doing it? Like you're just like a command or a leadership, or I won't say corrals because you're not like I'm gonna get them drunk and like convince them that it's great. So I'm gonna assume it's more of an inspirational type thing.
Yeah, like he's just sort of schmoozing.
Yeah.
Can I just use charm then?
It's bigger than charm though. So do you have leadership or command?
Let's see. I have command trained, charm. I've got. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Charm is more like a person versus.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I have air of authority, but that's a successful command test may affect 1d10 plus 2 NPCs. That doesn't seem like.
Yeah, I'm not counting
yeah.
Technically, how many people can you affect with your command test? Because you're not like commanding them to do a thing.
Yeah,
this is more like you kind of going around like, I've got this. We're totally fine. Don't worry about we're gonna make sure this.
All right, I'll make command test then.
Is an area of effect. See how many people you can get in your.
Oh, I got a 37 out of 55.
Okay. Yeah, the men seem to be much more positive about the situation as you've arrived. They believe in you and believe that you're going to, turn the tide in this, and that you show up and obviously aren't you guys are fucking terrible. Fuck you guys. They're in much better spirits knowing that you are there to help and not to crush them.
Yeah.
So
that's gig. I mean, it's not typically like that. So
yeah. So they're we're gonna do this, and then the volunteers, not the volunteers, the 10 that were selected are everyone's oh man, I wish I could go with you guys. You guys are gonna fucking be legendary. That sort of stuff.
yeah, there'll be promotions for the guys that survive.
They're great. I feel great about that.
Well, they don't know that yet, but
Yeah. You're whoever survives, you win. And they're great. God damn it. But yes, everyone seems sufficiently impressed and emboldened by your presence.
all right, that's good. Yeah, and he would just, while he was talking to the guys, he toured the facility, just make sure everything was as he requested.
Sure. Everything
Shaking hands
looks
and
really
kissing
good.
babies.
Mhm. Yep. Vote Hallerman.
They're we don't have a vote, but we appreciate it.
The thought that counts, right?
You've got pretty much authority to do whatever. You could murder all of us, and we can't say anything, but we appreciate it.
He's shaking hands. He's handing out buttons.
Yeah, they're well, we at least feel better about the fact that you basically own us. So great. We feel great about it.
As they should. Yeah, I mean, that's his thing. Does anybody have anything that they want to do, need to do?
Well, I'm going to be watching my back now, that's for sure. No, nothing for the moment.
I'm good.
Do you bring everybody together for a sermon? I assume Jarnan's got to do something, right? You got your 2 acolytes there.
Well, the 3 of us will go off and pray, but as far as we're concerned, you're a lost cause.
Okay. I mean, yeah, probably. I didn't know if we gathered the troops, though. You know what I mean? Because there's no missionary there.
No, not at all. They'll be giving their life for the God Emperor tomorrow, so they know what they need to do.
Fair enough.
I'll pray over their corpses.
Welcome to 40K. I don't know. There's a million of you. I'll just fucking pray for the ones that died and bless the ones that didn't.
Turn you into rations when you're done.
It's and we're good. See you guys. Whatever. Good luck.
Nice.
It's basically, Starship. I mean, basically 40K is Starship Troopers. I'll send Wave or what's his name from Futurama. It's I'll send wave after wave of my own men until we have enough to I'll sacrifice as many people as necessary to win. I don't care. That's the Imperium. It's great. Everyone loves it. Okay, before let's do a John edit break for real quick the morning, and then you guys can figure out what the hell you're tactically going to do for this situation, or if you want to talk about it while I'm going to go get another soda. Feel free.
I think tactics just don't seem to be.
We're going to take a pee break too. Sorry, guys. We'll be right back.
I say we just go balls to the wall, just run into the forest and and shoot whatever moves.
So my thought is that if their intel suggests that they're to the northeast, that we do a flyover, see what we see, right? So there weren't any cities or anything that were present when we left. We didn't see any, large encampments or anything like that. We can do a flyover, see if that's changed at all.
I don't think they don't seem like city inhabitants.
No, I don't know.
Like, I'm not even sure if these are like hut people. Like these, they might even be like migrating,
more nomadic.
Yeah,
could be.
I mean, like when you have like a permanent, like if you have like a group of gorillas or something like that, where you see like you can find their nests as you go. I have a feeling it's going to be more like that. Like they don't have any permanent settlement, but perhaps attempting to find signs of where they've been, where they've settled temporarily.
Well, if they have all this technology,
they probably have a territory that they go through to protect. So
yeah, but if they've been stealing for all this time, they have all this technology. They've got to put it somewhere. They're not going to drag it all through the forest. Right?
Very true. Yeah.
We tune the scanner, the Auspex, do the flyover to the northeast, and then specifically scan for tech. And then if we get a ping on tech, maybe we land. I don't want to say we land real far away because then some motherfucker like doubles behind us and
right.
Crew on the thing gonna fucking hike all the way back. But
you don't. So you guys, out of character wise, you don't know how happy I am about this showdown that's about to happen.
You've been waiting.
I don't want him to kill everybody, but I'm not gonna be totally upset if he does. But yeah, no, yeah, didn't Neil? He said that there's that he stole not like cloaking tech, but like stuff that could
like stummers. I'm thinking maybe.
Yeah.
Or it could
so
be
I mean, if that's something that's obviously sending out a counter signal, then we could possibly try to lock the scanners onto that.
Yeah, because it prevents noise in an area. So like it's still tech that's running, so we might be able to ping that.
Exactly. Yeah.
We land close. So maybe we land a half a mile away.
Right.
And put the shuttle back up in the sky.
Right. I mean, something at least within a field. If it's a half mile, then we're at least within like a 10-minute jaunt.
Yeah.
To where he is.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we don't want to land on top of them and then they scatter. But if we land, away and then move in, it's potentially a better tactical situation. Although they clearly know the forest better than we do. So,
is there any way that we can fly the shuttle in like a low power, low altitude maneuver? Try to keep it like as stealthy as possible. I'm assuming that would be like if it were possible, it would require like some type of piloting check by Emmaus.
Yeah.
Which I know he will pass.
Well, he gets the reroll, so he's all right.
There we go.
I got fate points too, so.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do low over the treetops, right? I mean, it's not like we're shooting at 1,000 miles an hour. Like, he could fly slow,
Yeah.
I assume it's probably still easy to spot. I mean, it is a fucking,
true
shuttle, but.
What if we try for some type of fake? So if it's this is gonna sound really dumb, but if it flies at like just over treetop and we try to do some kind of like jump out, and then the shuttle then lands somewhere else.
Well, we could radio back to the mining facility and tell them to fly a shuttle north and west. So there's 2 locations potentially.
Right.
So if they see it coming, then they don't know which one is which.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really matter, like, if they go that way, as long as we get Kayne, right? I mean,
What happens if we just invite him back into the crew, and then Jesse has to play 2 characters?
Deal. I get the best of both worlds. I get to make all of the navigation checks, and I shoot people.
yeah.
Win-win.
What are you thinking, John?
Okay, the God Emperor's back. He's ready to give you some serious ASMR deliciousness. You're all welcome. Put this on the podcast.
Did anyone make it through that whole file?
No.
No.
Wow. Did anyone try at all?
No.
I keep forgetting that it's on there.
Look, I listened to it, and it's hilarious. Look, I can entertain myself for hours.
We're going to throw that up on the
myself.
Patreon.
I can record myself for 8 hours and then listen to that 8 hours. For 8 hours. And I'm just as entertained as when I was saying it.
Oh, shit.
It's in the folder, guys. Listen to it.
All right.
Not gonna. It's okay. It's terrible. I thought it was funny, though. It's just terrible.
All right. So the plan is to have everybody assembled in the morning. We'll do another. All right. So although we didn't get agreement on the second part, so we radio back to the mining facility proper. Tell them we want them to send a shuttle north and west, while we go north and east.
Okay.
That way, they'll clearly see the shuttle coming, but then they don't know which is which. We have them both land. For those guys, they land for like 2 seconds, get the fuck out, and then we land about a half a mile away. So the plan is to then scan for tech. So if they've stolen all this tech, if something's in use, then potentially we'll get a ping on that as opposed to a life form, and then land, a half a mile or so away while the other shuttle is landing, and then, go in and see if we can't get them.
Okay. Sure.
So we do it.
Okay. You do that. Yeah, you send the shuttle out. You send your shuttle out. You are looking for tech signals.
Mhm.
That is a shuttle that does not have any additional Auspex capabilities other than just regular scans.
Yep. Venari says to Emmaus, he's like, "Look, this was really important. I need you to focus on what you're doing."
Okay. And then, yeah, tell me what you get.
36 out of 50 with the 10. So it was 40, but plus 50. So 36.
Okay, wait. 36 out of 50 was the final.
Yeah.
Okay. You're scanning. As you're scanning, you don't pick up any active tech within the Auspex area.
Nothing out of the ordinary, Captain. Just organic, nothing tech
sure?
that I can find. Absolutely. I'm very sure on this one.
All right.
Confident.
Makes this a little bit more difficult then. Let's just see if we can't get a visual, see if we don't see anything that sticks out of the ordinary.
Okay, whoever's looking, give me a scrutiny check. Just scrutiny.
I can't do it.
I think Emmaus might be the only one trained in scrutiny.
I feel bad if he doesn't see things.
I'll look at the screen. I didn't see anything on the screen. Now I'll look out the window.
Yeah, Venari's like, oh no, I got a 4 out of 15.
So I have a 37, but it's half a 37. I got a 14.
Oh,
Oh.
that might be enough.
It is. So half is 18 and a half. So if you roll it down 19 up to 19.
Yeah, 19. Okay, what's Emmaus get?
I got 89 out of 40, so I smashed my face on the window.
You're
That's
like,
right, so
Emmaus breathed too heavily and he fogged up the
Fogs it
window.
up.
really like, Venari, though, sees that there is sort of a break in the canopy, sort of like like not like a circle, but like a crevasse type, like thin sort of thing that then leads, and then it looks like it leads toward and then into sort of a more rocky outcropping area / sort of waterfall mountainous region that looks certainly different than okay, with that one that's pretty good. You notice a shining reflective glint on the rock wall by this waterfall.
Okay. So he just, he just starts pointing out the window. Did you guys see it? Did you see it? There's something down there.
No,
By
I
the
didn't see
waterfall.
anything. I didn't see anything.
Look, you just keep
Kynnoch
flying.
is sitting in the middle of the shuttle in a meditative state.
It's called a waterfall.
No. It was to the right of the waterfall, Jarnan.
The cliff?
No. I think they're down there. I'm pretty sure. I got a feeling about this.
Well, in his defense, Kayne probably should start bathing, so it's a good spot.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? They'd need a source of water.
What's Emmaus's react? Like, what are you doing as he's like, hey, like over that way? What are you doing shuttle piloting wise? I assume you're piloting.
Yeah, if Venari's saying to go over that way, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything on the scanners. So if he's saying it's over that way, then even if everyone else says I can't see anything, if the captain's saying it's over that way, I'm going to go probably head over towards that way, or
Okay.
look back to Venari and say, kind of turn the wheel. Yeah, do you want me to go that way and head off towards it?
Let's do a quick flyby.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you're going, just occasionally at the right angle, once you've said where it is, you'll see like just like that glint, like almost like a mirror, right? Or like a shining piece of metal would be that shouldn't really be in a rock face, like glinting, almost like perhaps like maybe even like a solar panel type reflection, as you are sort of like approaching more directly, and sort of you kind of move a little bit here and there, you'll see like everyone kind of sees like a glint.
All right, we don't get too close because I don't want to fucking drive the shuttle right over the location.
Sure. Yeah.
But if
it doesn't take much for it to because you just noticed like a near imperceptible, like, wait a minute, what was that? And then
Shiny.
And then it's like, wait a minute, as you get close, like as you're getting there, it's definitely something not rock in the rock face.
Okay. Does it look like something we would have to scale, climb, grappling hook, or is it like a sheer cliff face, or is it like we could go hiking up there?
It's not sheer, so the glint is sort of mid waterfall, but it's enough of a slope. It's not like a 30-degree slope or anything. Probably 60-degree sort of slope with the water coming down. So it's not. It's more of a cool river raft ride than it is like a sheer waterfall. It's not a 90-degree cut. So it is sort of like falling, but yeah, not a sheer cliff face. So if you were at the bottom, you could likely hike up. If you're at the top, you could likely hike down.
Okay.
Either way.
All right. So what do you guys think? Do we drop
And
in?
right now, I would say you're, I don't know, 500 yards out, right? Like pretty 500 meters out. This is Rogue Trader, because though everything's in meters, like it's fucking reasonable to be. So like you're like 500 meters out, which is, for a shuttle, might be pretty loud to if someone was like standing 500 meters away, but at the same time with a waterfall and that sort of stuff. But you're far enough away.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Do we drop in from the top or make the hike up? Potentially, they have the lower slopes booby trapped. I would imagine.
Is it just who else can hear us in the shuttle? Is it just the four of us, or are there other people in the shuttle with us?
You had 10 guys with you, or would be like, I would assume the command staff's up in the cockpit. The other troops are like 5 and 5 in the like infantry. Yeah, we're ready type carrier type.
Okay, good. Because then I'm going to say, should we maybe send a couple of the guys in the back to go take a look?
Jesus, Emmaus has gotten real dark all this.
I'm paranoid now.
Kynnoch scared the shit out of him.
Yeah, Kynnoch's gunning for me.
Put some red shirts in there, all right?
Exactly.
Here, put this shirt on first.
I love it.
I don't see any point in wasting them needlessly.
Emmaus, you go first.
Damn it. Backfired.
No. Let's keep the nameless guys in the back.
Well, I say if we get close enough, and then just give it a bit visual closer to see, making sure it's not a trap, having something glinting out where it shouldn't be. We obviously thought Kayne wouldn't fall for any trap we set. Let's not try to fall for any traps he would set.
Fair enough. I don't think that he would expect anyone to find him all the way out here. Could we make another scan of that area specifically?
Yeah.
I don't want to
no,
scan it to death because it seems like...
No, now that you've seen it, yeah. It's
Okay.
a totally different thing once you know an area, yeah.
All right, I'll give you the 10. I'm like, focus over there.
Oh. 37 out of 50.
Okay. So to be fair, I'll reveal a little bit behind the curtain. There was a -20 penalty before you knew the area because they were using cloaking. He rigged cloaking technology. But because now you're searching the area specifically for that type of for specific technology or technology in a focused area, you definitely you determine there are the thing you're seeing is likely a solar powered generator of some sort, and that there is some amount of stealth technology being used to obfuscate scans of that area without you having, unless you physically were targeting right in. It would be difficult for anyone to have detected that particular, it's basically obscuring life form scans, technology, power, that sort of stuff in that particular area. But it does go relatively deep within what seems to be a cavernous sort of I don't want to say labyrinth because that implies some crazy maze, but there's like it goes deep. There is a passageway deep into the waterfall, behind the waterfall, a cavern system that seems to be what the cloaking is trying to obscure.
Just gonna warn you guys. Last time we went in a cave, Kynnoch ate a demon. So,
But Emmaus, I mean, he's really doubling down on this one. That's a good scam. That was a good scam. That was a good one. It's a good call.
I mean, Venari's not much to plan things usually, so she's kind of like, yeah, it's fucking lame. We'll go and figure it out.
Let's run down that hole and start.
right?
That's what I say. With
Yeah, classic Captain Hallerman.
Everybody, let's run down that hole and start shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. In classic Hallerman fashion,
Yeah,
it's leave the nameless guys on the shuttle. We go in, no plan, no eyes. Just
and hope everything works out for the best.
Everything, yeah. Could send the skull in to survey ahead. Why do that?
But you know what? I will say, as a former rogue trader, it feels so great as a rogue trader to run in and just be like, I'm fucking running. I'm a rogue trader. I can do whatever I want. And you just fucking like slice a demon in half with your sword. And you're like, I am the goddamn God King himself. And then God Emperor himself. And then you just fucking do it. Rogue traders are drunk on power. They love to fucking do shit. That's the best part of being a rogue trader.
Yeah.
It's just being like, fuck it, let's do this. And you win. Most of the time you win. It's great. And the times you don't, it's real bad. That's the problem. It's really bad when you don't. That's the game. That's what I love about this game.
All right. So as Emmaus reveals the information, he just sits back in the chair and he's like, all right, what are you guys thinking? I mean, clearly we've found the source of the problem. I feel like we're going to need to go in and flush them out. We could theoretically just bombard it, but if they don't happen to be here now, then we'll have left with mission accomplished, only to be back here again in 6 months.
I honestly just assumed that you were going to stroll in and invite him back onto the ship.
I won't say that it hadn't crossed my mind. He was a good man, but it seems as if he has chosen another way.
Well, I would say the quicker we get this sorted, the quicker we get the situation resolved, the quicker we can get on to other things that have come our way recently. And I don't think any of us want to be staying here any longer than we have to.
Indeed. We pay these guys for hooks a thumb towards the back of the shuttle.
Well, not according to Kynnoch. I'm supposed to go in, but yes, absolutely.
Is he really the best? I don't know if he's the one determining orders, but you know.
And so add a character as a point of mechanics. If we're bringing the 10 guys and Jarnan with his 2 flamers, I assume the flip side is that the combat becomes that much harder.
Hey, let's go kill some demons.
Okay, so what was your again?
Well, so if we're bringing, so the 10 guys are kind of worthless, right? I mean, they're probably rolling at a 30.
Yep,
So
they are. Yeah. You might have paid for 40 crack troops, so it'd be 40, I think.
Maybe.
I think are they part of our original crew?
No, they're the mercs that we hired.
Okay. Yeah, they're 30.
Yeah.
All right, so they're whatever, right? So it's one roll, they hit or they don't hit. But we have 3 guys with flamers, and they don't need to roll. So my thought is that, you fight, Kayne and a couple of fucking whatevers, but now it's like Kayne and like 50 of the things because you've got 3 flamers in the party. You know, I mean, just as a matter of mechanic. I guess it's all behind the screen stuff. Doesn't really matter, but
Yeah, I mean,
Are you really saying that if we bring 17 guys with us, that Neil's gonna automatically be like, "Hey, I'm gonna boost"? This isn't an MMO. It's not. It's not like if we go into a zone with 5 guys, there's only going to be 7 enemies. But if we go in with 17 guys, it's going to be 50 enemies.
I'm not saying
I
that
trust Neil. I trust. Don't be a dick, John. Trust Neil.
Hey,
I
we've done with this in 5
confident.
minutes. That's great.
but it also kind of. I mean, I honestly would have liked. I have an idea of what's there.
We theoretically also could go in with 5 people,
Like,
and there's 50 people there.
I'm more likely to dial down than dial up, if that helps. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's more likely if 5 of you go in that I have a reasonable encounter than if you take everyone in and you're like, we have 10 flamers. Then I'm going to put the full strength of what's fighting you there. So, like, it's.
That's fucking.
I mean, from what you've heard, there's some unknown number of feral entities converted to serve Kayne.
Dude, think
That's-
about it. He's got a
that's
whole
what you know.
squad of sentient armed cassowaries. All right.
So, like, let's just say, based on what you know now, some unknown number, because you haven't technically looked, like, you haven't tried to calculate any movement, like, you didn't, not to, like, super meta game for you to do this, but, like, you didn't say, like let's look at patterns of some fucking semi-sentient species there, right? But some number of convincible species in that area that he has operated is now following him, that is Kroot-like. That's what you know.
well, so if
So, and it's a fairly deep cavern system that is being obscured. That's what I will tell you. That's what you know.
So we roll in 5 and 5, 2 lines of dudes. They roll in. Jarnan's flamers behind them. So when the 10 dudes get mowed down, then the flamers can spread, and then we just roll in the back and clean the mess up.
I mean,
I feel like I'm not walking out of this cave.
No, we're running.
I'm just setting
in
you up.
victory.
No, I'm totally on board with that. I'm totally on board with the math. With the math behind that, totally doable.
Yep.
Totally doable.
I mean, fuck. I
It's
don't
up
know.
to you guys. That's what you know. You know, currently, without metagaming, that there is some population of these creatures that Kayne has convinced. You are confident he has obscured their location and has been stealing things from the mine.
Weapons,
operation.
armor.
Yeah. Weapons, armor, technology from the base that you and the mining operation have set up, and are now in this cave system that you cannot scan deeply with for life forms and such. So you have no idea how many are in there, but You have an idea of his tactics, his capabilities, his weaponry that he left with, as well as the ability for him to improvise weaponry. So that's what you know.
I also say if he found a population of these things, right? Not all of them are going to be trainable,
Sure.
and B, be able to actually fight. So you're talking maybe 3% of the population could like actually fight. So those are the ones that he took with him. But then he brought guns back to the rest of them. You can give any goon a gun and they're automatically. So
Kinda
we have no idea like how many of them are just sitting in there ready to grab a gun and shoot back at us. So he could have taken like 5 with him, but there's like 30 of them with stubbers that are ready to just shoot our heads off.
Yeah, they just have fucking revolver. You don't know.
Yep.
Right
Well,
now,
we have the manifest, right? So I mean, we
10
know,
hell guns lined up. Just
Yeah, no, but we have the manifest, so we know what he's taken already. Like we could, for whatever information we can glean. Oh, he took 4,000 stubbers. Okay, cool. Maybe there's 4,000 of these creatures there. If he stole, 50 stubbers.
in trouble.
Well, but you know what I'm saying? Like we have more information because we have the manifest.
True.
To see.
Sure.
Kind of like to give us a rough estimate of how many things may be armed. How many sets of carapace armor did he steal? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. You would know anything he took, by manifest,
Do we have that number?
Sure. You have. So here's the thing. What has been stolen was not entirely weapons,
Right.
but what you know, enough armor, conservatively, body type armor, would probably be in the 100 to 200 range.
Wow.
The weapons component, like ammo, is in the maybe I don't know, 5,000 round total area.
You want to go back and get a few more guys?
Weapons total, maybe 50 to 100 weapons. Now, those weapons could be scavenged to create improvised weaponry, right? Of different makes and models. So between everything you can calculate, you would assume on average 100 well-equipped guerrilla insurgents.
So we're having this conversation like in character, and Venari's kind of like scrolling through the fucking data pad. I don't know, should we land? Should we not? How many guys? Like, so if this is accurate, and I suspect that it is because that supply master was an asshole, there could be 100 very well armed and armored guerrilla fighters down there, whatever species or they may be. This may be a little bit more difficult than we had initially anticipated.
So would it be maybe a good thing to try to make contact with Kayne to see what game he's playing, to see if there's anything we can glean from him why he's doing this? Or I just, if there's that amount of opposition there, I don't think we can go charging in. It may be worth feeling out what the hell exactly is going on or what he's thinking at the moment.
It's not a terrible idea. I suppose they probably know that we're here. With that level of technology, we have to assume that they're aware that we have found their base. So reaching out, I don't think puts us in any worse position.
Is there a way we can communicate with them, or
Can we like broadband, Vox, Comcast to, like open channel sort of thing? Like we would know what channel they were using necessarily, but like run that across the spectrum sort of thing. Like, Kayne, we just want to talk, that sort of thing. See what picks up. I mean, I don't know,
if they have any communication gear or anything?
I would assume that they do, but I don't know, like in-world canon, if you could just like broadband, cast a signal, and get a response.
Could you send your skull in to talk to him? Would it?
Well, let's not get hasty. I'm still breaking this thing in now. I mean, there's no harm to us for sure, but
I was hoping you were going to say that. That's why. That's why I said that. I mean, I think we should probably try to make contact. It may be he has a bone to pick with one or all of us, and we might be able to, get to the root of a solution quicker than going up against maybe hundred of whoever he has in there.
I mean, he just, he kind of looks up and then he looks back and he pulls out his fucking comm and he just fucking calls Kayne's comm. Right? We didn't say that he left his micro beat or whatever. He just tries him on whatever informational channel he already had for him, like pulling up a number on a cell phone,
I will say that he did leave all of his armor and weapons behind except for his swords. But whether or not he still had his microbead is up to Neil.
You're muted, Neil. You've been muted. If you've been talking for a while, you're muted. Or something.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's muted.
Oh, there you are.
There he is.
Am I back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. If he left his armor, I forgot he left his armor and weapons other than swords, then he would likely not have a microbead.
Venari would try it anyway. I mean,
you get no
response
from that.
Can we broadcast? Can we do a broadband signal? Like, is that a thing that's possible to do?
I mean, you can send across multiple wavelengths if you were sending, yeah.
Yeah, then he would do that as well. So when he doesn't get a response after a few minutes, he's like, all right, let's just open it up and see if they reply.
Okay. Yeah, let's make this interesting. You broadcast a minute or two later. Lord Captain.
He sits up a little straighter.
I believe you are trying to communicate with me.
Indeed, Kayne, how are you? How have you been? We've missed you.
I've been great.
I
found my calling, the Lord Emperor's calling.
And
has come to me, and I've been executing it.
And what is your calling happen to be? We thought your calling was to be my second in command, my confidant, as it were.
No, you're a heretic.
He looks at Jarnan, just kind of shrugs.
Yeah, Jarnan just kind of gives him a look like, no shit.
You are simply out for yourself.
The Lord Emperor wants devotees, and I have found these creatures who need the light of the Lord Emperor, and you're squandering it on these greedy masses in the mining colony.
Had you not been treated well?
That's no matter. The matter is, I have seen the light, and the way is to convert these things, not to destroy them.
You would be surprised at how often those two things coincide.
I think you're being obtuse.
I don't know that anyone's ever said that before.
I assure you it's been said. Because that's exactly what you're being. You are trying to convince me that these creatures should be destroyed instead of converted. But the God Emperor, I don't think you see. What he wants, what he needs, is for everyone to gain as much as they can. And these creatures haven't gained anything, and you're stealing from them. But I can raise them up. I can create a society that worships me, that tells them to follow me, to achieve their goals, and then the God Emperor could benefit. The God Emperor can receive the benefits versus these merchant houses, these greedy humans.
But isn't that the essence of heresy itself? I do not wish to debate ecclesiarchical points with you, Kayne,
As you should not, as you know.
But
if you want to debate biblical verses and some amount of insane dogmatic views, we should just end the communique now. What I'm saying is there's a way to make profits from more than what the God Emperor directly commands, because the ecclesiarchy is blind. But I can see we can make more. We can do more.
I believe you're mistaken, Kayne.
If nothing else, I can do more. I can overthrow whatever pathetic colony you put into place, whatever men you have posted to stop me. You know I can destroy them. And if you think you can destroy me, then come on. Land your pathetic ship, bring your pathetic men, and come for me. Because I have an army. And regardless of how many men you throw upon the rocks and crags of my shore, I will destroy them. And I will be victorious. This planet's fortunes will be mine.
He doesn't know what to say.
Drama! Acting!
I mean, you know, when he pauses, he like turns to look to the other guys and just kind of like puts up his hand like, fuck, what the hell are we going to do about this? Like,
Jarnan just draws his flamer and looks between you and it.
He fucking mutes the comm and he's like, hundreds. Jarnan, I have to say I'm on your side on this. And if he's found Xenos that he's converted, by all means, you are well within your right to purge the heresy. He speaks in circles. He speaks of prophets being heresy, of the ecclesiarchy being heresy, and yet he puts himself above all others and talks about accruing power and thrones.
Yeah, he has hundreds of heretics. They should all burn.
But we must do this perhaps more subtly.
You receive. Let me check. Sure, let's go with that. I'm gonna let you. You can do a dodge for your shuttle. Shuttles are not for tactical evasion, so you don't really get any additional bonuses to your dodge. So it's going to be just a piloting check, and I will roll against that. As you're arguing.
So we're arguing.
And you notice, Emmaus notices a powering up of a very noticeable energy source, a weapon that fires against you. Let me look and see. It does not hit you, but you'd have to give me a roll to know what it was. It doesn't hit you, but
So I don't have to. So I don't have to do the pilot then.
No,
Okay.
Otherwise you would have had to do an evasion test, but it doesn't hit you. But give me. Do you have like what anything that would know what weaponry systems were fired?
I have Imperial, Navy, War.
Imperial, Navy, or War would be enough. Yeah.
Okay. 58 out of 45 now.
Okay. It was definitely a lance burst, but you're not sure what kind.
Captain, I think we have to make a decision rather quickly. We're being fired upon.
Pull us out. Pull us out.
Okay. So I'm assuming I'll just hit reverse and we're going to fly out.
Sure. Yeah, if that's what he wants. Yeah.
Okay. That's a 40 out of 50 for
All right.
just pilot.
Yeah, you punch it out. And as you're running, the radio crackled. Coward. I knew you wouldn't stay and fight. You're pathetic.
Captain, did you hear what he called you?
Captain,
he flips.
I believe he called you a bitch.
And he said, "Bitch."
He just flips the comm back on and he says, "Don't worry, we'll be back."
I'll be waiting.
Well, someone will be back. Maybe not me. Someone. Not 100 someones.
No, I'll send somebody take care of this.
Here's your shirt. Here's your shirt. Here's your shirt.
See, I had the good idea. Send those guys, not us.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly that Jesse was right. And because he said he's not gonna dial it down or up,
I had an idea of the number, and that was the number. 100-ish warriors at the ready, so you can do what you wanted to, and that's what you did. So I didn't modify that at all. That's just what happened.
Oofa.
So yeah, I guess we're gonna get close to wrapping up for next time, because I think that's a good break point.
Man, you do know too that if we don't go in there and like cut this shit out now, he's probably very quickly just gonna make a run on the mine.
Probably.
Because if he's been leaving, if he's just been taking like tiny little hit squads with him, like he's just gonna now that he knows where, like we know where he is in all this shit, he's just gonna like unleash a wave of like 100 or so armed and armored cassowaries on us.
Yeah, it's not
Just like a shit ton of ostriches.
Yeah, it would not
with AKs and body armor.
Yeah, it would not be out of the realm of possibilities for now that he's been found out. If you don't immediately do something, that he's gonna be like, "Fuck it, let's just fucking take we'll do maximum damage."
Yep.
So it's well within his purview, and even at your best, a full-on suicide squad of 100 well-armed guerrillas could fuck some shit up. So
what was that shitty Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman movie? When they
Was it Double Team?
Something like that.
I think it was Double Team.
Yeah, what was it? The best defense is a good offense.
Well, he's an arms dealer or something, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. It's not unlikely that once found out, like before it was small raids to get stuff to not be found out.
To supply up, right.
There's a difference between supplying up to survive and, well, I'm going to get wiped out if I don't just fuck them up. So, yes. Switch may have been flipped to let's fuck them up.
Yeah.
Territory. Entirely possible.
Yeah. I don't know.
I really hope that was going to hit your shuttle and knock it out. It was a really good lance strike, but it didn't even beat what I had as Kayne's ballistic skills. So I tried. Fuck you, Tondi. You ruined me again. You Australian bastard. I probably yelled that. I don't know if my wife is going to bed yet or not, but she said she was supposed to go to bed early, and I'm like, now I'm yelling about Australians. And then next room, whoopsie.
Fuck.
It's pretty good until that. Fuck you, Tondi. Damn you, Tondi.
Well, shit. That's real bad, guys.
You mean real great.
Round up some people from the mine, give them some guns.
Well,
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I mean, you're saying well armed. I mean, those 100 guys all have fucking stubbers. Like, I don't know what he stole, but those guys have stubbers. Bolters?
Nah.
They have bolters.
Bolters.
They have bolters?
Yeah, they do.
Well, that's a little different. Like I didn't think it was stubbers. I thought it was like the stub rifles or whatever, the rifle version of
Jesse made the roll for fucking bolters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, bolters are pretty hardcore. So there is that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, so I could maybe do this next time or whatever, but I think he's like on the comm, not only back to, his commander at our base, but then also like, he's got both channels open, like fucking party chat and letting Redford know, like, hey, we've got a
Holding
big
two
fucking
cell phones
problem
up to
here.
each other.
Yeah.
Here, you guys talk. Yeah, I thought auto gun would have been your best, but if it's bolt guns, then that's a lot more badass, obviously. Right. I mean, bolt guns are pretty badass against even the harshest of. I mean, I'm not even. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say for sure. Yeah, they're pretty badass comparative, but to almost anything else on the low level side.
Yeah, I don't remember what their pen is, but I think it's pretty good. And then their damage is decent.
Yeah, well, the bolt gun pen is 4, which is great, but they also have a 2-4 rate of fire, and tearing is the thing. Tearing's the thing, and their clip's gigantic.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot.
That is going to be like Platoon.
Now, so, question. How do we get the murder servitors off the ship and down to the planet?
We just started loading those motherfuckers up.
It's a great question. I don't. Yeah, I would have to look that up. If you're gonna plan on doing that, let me know so that I can look up how many a complement of murder servitors are. Because, like, on the odd chance they get wiped out, that would be bad for you guys.
Right.
But not necessarily, impossible. Like, if it's like 1,000, then yeah, maybe you win. But I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, he's on the comms. He's trying to coordinate a bunch of shit now.
Yeah.
I love how we went from let's just fucking go in to guys.
Everything's fucked. We gotta run. We gotta run and get a million things ready. So
Turn pretty quick.
Right.
Yeah. Situations change. Things change. People change. I need to fucking find a better way. Why is this? I just don't understand why these things don't open in, like, Reader. Why are they opening in Tard Town?
So it does not say murder servitors appropriate for all hull types, gives power, space, and ship points. And then it doesn't say in the description, like, how many there are.
But it is specific, though. I think because it's specific to ship, I'm not sure.
It says the ship possesses a stock of ancient skull-faced killing machines, sealed in a cryostasis until absolutely required. A mere dozen can be successfully sent on hit-and-run raids to maim and kill on enemy vessels. So
I mean, it doesn't technically say that.
So maybe there's a dozen? I mean, I don't know what would be, reasonable then.
Well, if it says there's a dozen, there's a dozen.
Well, it says at least a dozen, or
Well,
a dozen could. Yeah.
Well, then there's a dozen, and they're meant to wreak havoc and kill crew, so they're not like meant to kill the whole ship's crew. It's like you do damage to a crew based on it, but like, there are stats for them somewhere.
Yeah, we'd have to look.
Yeah, I'd have to look them up, but I think they exist. I'm pretty sure they exist.
They might even be in the core book. I was just looking under the ship's components.
I don't think they're in the ship's book, but it's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, I would say good deal, but I guess it's really not.
Whoopsie. I wish I would have had cool voices for you, but I didn't get that set up in time. I'm getting it all set up.
It was good.
To get this cool little button pushy thing to do cool stuff.
Just didn't work yet.
Fair enough.
And I promise at some point, listeners, that rolls will occur.
We made some rolls.
We
Or
rolled
them.
a bunch. I
Mm.
rolled like 8 times.
Yeah, that's because you jumped. But then I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, you only. But now there's some cool stuff that could happen. So there's that. So yeah, it was good. I thought it was good.
Ooh.
I'm excited to see what you guys do to solve this problem. I mean, you have the parameters, so you have a month to figure out what the fuck you're gonna do about primitive bird-faced fucking cave people with guns of some sort.
I mean, it
And or
doesn't
maybe
sound great.
or not guns. We don't know. It's guns. It's guns. It's guns, guys. He built guns for them. And it's awesome. So it's gonna be cool. And you guys gotta find a way to deal with it. And I hope it's not like, oh, we're just gonna send let's just send 20,000 crew members until they all die. And you will be, who cares if there's only 5,000 left? It doesn't matter. You could do that, but it would suck. Don't.
Shoot 'em from space.
Or we can just bombard them from space.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only way to be sure.
Yep.
Okay, do that. Go ahead, do that. Do it.
I'm so afraid right now.
Roll that. Roll that. Definitely roll that.
I believe in Emmaus.
How
No.
far away is this from all of our other stuff?
Couple miles.
10, 15 miles.
Oh, psh.
That's plenty.
I mean,
space.
we'll also have to deal with like the nuclear
Oh,
fallout.
you mean when you're firing from 100 to I don't know, 1,000 miles away? Like,
Yeah, we could bring the ship in a little closer.
can you? Can you?
I don't know.
Pretty tight. It's a pretty tight 10 to 15 miles ain't too much of a isn't a big buffer in the planetary scale of a 30,000 mile diameter planet, and you want 10 to 15 guys.
Plus, who knows the radiation that would explode out of that bomb.
I guess if you use macro cannons, it's not nuclear, but still, it ain't good. Like in World War, so like here's the thing. Today we can shoot like a cruise missile within like a 3-meter thing, but that's like from Earth, from like 1,000 miles away at best. So like, imagine you're like 200,000 miles away, and you're trying to hit within a 10-mile radius. You could. It's like World War II bombers. They just were like, if we hit half the city, that's pretty good. That's like close enough. So that's what you're dealing with. And that's assuming you do real good on your checks and you actually sensor scan into the right area. Otherwise, you're just fucking like boo, 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 willy-nilly. Like at that point, imagine you're not John Wick and you have 2 pistols and you're at a range and you're just going ba 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 ba. If you've ever done that, that fucking ain't hitting shit. Like you are not hitting center mass. If you're just holding 2 pistols shooting down range, you're fucking hitting whatever hits. That's what you're shooting.
I believe Mythbusters tested that, and they actually said the more accurate way is to fire both guns at the same time rather than one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because if you
still.
deal one, then you're dealing with side to side kickback. Whereas if you shoot both at the same time, then it evenly.
But without aiming, it's still really hard.
Oh yeah,
It's still not great. Like I mean, so here's the thing. Like right, if I'm shooting a bullet from like 10 yards away, if I'm not aiming down that rail, that's pretty tough. Now, if you're doing that 100 times that with a pistol, you're just fucking hitting shit, man. You're just fucking shooting. You don't know. Those bombs are just going wherever. So you have to understand, these motherfuckers don't even understand how anything works.
In 40K, they don't know how things happen. They're just like, I pray and I rub some ointments on it, and it works. Like, kudos to us for making it work okay. But like, these motherfuckers aren't like developing. These aren't DARPA initiatives. These motherfuckers are like the anti-DARPA. They're like, I don't know. I just pray and I rub a thing on it and I like move it this way and it kind of hits shit. So,
you know what I want? I want to play a game now where we're a bunch of orcs. Because I just want to be able to scrounge some random pieces of metal and wood, throw it together, and pray that it becomes something.
and it does.
And it does.
You gotta paint it red.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You just strap it together and you literally write boom on it.
Yeah. I just want I want that to be a thing where I'm like, okay, what's around me? Okay, I have a lamppost. I have a broom.
So we tried that. The problem is it's really hard to play an orc game because we had to attack everything because orcs aren't ever like, let's retreat.
Talk it out.
Let's strategically retreat. They're like, I can shoot that. So like we almost died from a robot half buried in the sand that couldn't move because one of the guys was a melee fighter and ran up to fight it, and the thing punched him to death with like 1 or 2 hits. Wow. And I'm like, we can't, like, no orc is like, oh, it's stuck in the mud, let's just shoot it from here. They're like, I'm gonna smash its head to death. And then you're like, okay, that's a great idea. And then it punches you to death. And I'm like, orcs are so dumb to play them well. Like, I mean, we did some cool stuff because you can believe, right? Like, I was like, oh, your motorcycle, like, what if I strapped some fuel canisters to your motorcycle and I rope them to it and we get on it and I light it and we rocket up to this guy shooting us from like 50 meters away. And the DM's like, fuck it, yeah, I'll let you. If you can't, because I was a tech boy. He was like, if you can roll a tech proficiency roll, sure. And I succeeded. So we like shoot his fucking motorcycle like a rocket, and we kill a bunch of stuff, but then we got fucking murdered by like a tank that shows up that we're like, I can hit that to death. Like, orcs are so dumb, they'll fight everything. So it's hard to play an orc game because you can't, in orc logic, not attack a thing. So, but it's fun because you can literally make up anything.
Right.
Anything that you think could work works. Basically. I mean, shooters basically don't run out of ammunition because they believe they don't. It makes no sense, but neither do orcs. So,
be good for a one shot.
Yeah, it'd be amusing. All right,
buddy. See you next month.
Yep.
All right. Let me know beforehand if I need stats on anything crazy. And maybe by then I'll have some cool voices or something. But I didn't have any reason to use cool voices today, so.
Yeah, no, it was good. Thanks for running. I wish it seemed more like a Venari centric talky episode. So I hate it for you guys because then you're just kind of like sitting there. It's like, God, fuck.
It gives us more time to think and be paranoid.
You asked them for their opinions. And they said, I don't know, whatever, do whatever. So they can all die at your command. It's fine.
That's true. That's true.
That's what they get for being like, I don't know, it's fine. Just go with it.
Right. Kevin, you have nothing to be worried about.
Yeah, that's
nothing.
This is gonna die.
Probably.
Absolutely nothing.
It's kind of gonna be like, somehow predict the future and be like, I know a bullet's going to be right here, and just grab you and like, yeah, like he's gonna set you up for fucking death.
Right, exactly. No, I'm not moving you out of the way of the bullet.
Yeah, like, look out!
Sure, you understand there? Don't you understand
I'm
over
waiting for that, like for him to be like, "Oh God, look out for this bus!" Oh, in front of it. Oh no, it's a problem. Oh no, who knew? Oh,
there? Head on a swivel.
yeah.
Or a steak.
Damn. That's what I like. I like party conflict.
I'm gonna need a new number 2. Sooner or later, it's gonna be you, John Bessie. I don't know how that's gonna work.
You're just gonna
And
keep
then
going.
Jarnan will be the number 1.
Yeah, Jarnan can be like,
Yep.
I'm just gonna flame this fuck.
Dark heresy, dark heresy, dark heresy.
That would be interesting. Yeah, if you killed him and became inquisitors.
I told John this a while ago. My whole plan, my subterfugeous plan for this campaign is for Jarnan to kill Venari and then for us to just turn this into a dark heresy campaign.
All right. Yeah, go for it. That'd be entertaining. We can do it. We can do that. I don't know what John's going to play after that, but that's going to be like the guy that's like washing over you guys. Like, I'm here to make sure you guys aren't fucking the Inquisitor over. I'm Inquisition internal.
Right.
I'll be the new number 2.
Undercover.
Right, there we go.
And it's like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good.
Then I
We'll
gotta-
find out. We'll
you
find
guys-
out.
I got to worry about Jarnan. I'm back in the situation.
It's like the 2 least likely people teaming up against the 2 people that are already like friends. So like, I'll trust this weird psychic guy as long as he can get me even more God Emperor status.
No.
No.
I'll just kill you all.
You still,
Exactly.
yes, even
Like
including
Jarnan's like, yeah, as soon as that happens, I'm gonna literally, as soon as I flame everyone else, I'm gonna turn and flame him.
even Inquisitors, even black ships need navigators. That's
It's true. It's true. They are very useful.
yeah.
As long as you remember you're just a useful tool.
You're just basically a compass and you're basically like a Google Map.
Compass and an engine.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. All right. Well, I will see you guys next month, I guess.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for running.
Sounds
Thanks for
good.
playing.
Thank you, everyone.
And I guess we'll throw our sponsor thing in as well. We've got coffee for sale, Legendary Brew. There's links in the show notes, or you go to tinyurl.com/legendary brew. It's an awesome medium roast. I just got 2 bags of whole bean in, so I'm getting ready to finish up the last of the other stuff.
Roasted by the God Emperor's hands himself.
Yep.
It's holy.
Roasted
It's fucking
fresh to
good,
order.
guys. It's fucking great, guys.
It's not just whole bean coffee, it's holy bean coffee.
Yeah, put that tagline, John, put it in the notes.
Yeah.
Only when we do this game.
All right, fair enough.
All right. No, shipping is free, and if you use code Legends10, you're going to get 10% off your order. And the 10% also works on your regular branded stuff as well.
Yes, as far as I know, I believe it does. It should. If it doesn't, email me. But yes, if you want something other than Legendary Legendary Brew, you should get 10% off any of our coffees if you want. I mean, the Legendary Brew helps fund this phenomenal podcast that you're listening to currently. So do that. But if you really enjoy the others, yeah, you still get the discount, baby. I'm that generous. The God Emperor.
How about this?
He protects y'all.
Side deal: for every bag of legendary brew that is sold, Neil will release another God Emperor ASMR.
Ooh, you know how many that would be? After that YouTube mention from our friend George Bruno, I would have had to have done a lot of ASMR. So I'm not trying to do that. But if you use, I should put a coupon code ASMR.
Oh, there you go.
There
I
you
should
go.
do it. I should do. I'll do it. I'll do an ASMR coupon code. If you want me to release God Emperor ASMRs for every legendary brew that you use the coupon code ASMR, I will then do one God Emperor ASMR and release it. I'll send it to John to release. I'll set it up. Well, probably tomorrow because I'm sleepy right now, but I'll do it. And if anyone does it, I can see what coupon code you use. So if you do it and you really want me to do God Emperor ASMR, then I'm sorry for you and all of the other listeners.
I'll have to throw this in the show notes for this episode.
Put it in there, baby. I'll set it up tomorrow.
Awesome. All right, sounds good. Well, thanks everybody for checking it out. Use the new coupon code ASMR. You get a little treat when you order
No,
your coffee.
use Legends if you want the 10%. Use ASMR if you want 10% and me to release ludicrous God Emperor ASMR. Don't just use it to use it. Only if you want it. You'll get 10% with Legends. You don't have to hear it. I'm just saying.
Hey, the people want what they want.
Make a note that for ASMR, it's going to be Warhammer 40K God Emperor specific. And I'm going to say dumb shit whispered. So just know that.
That's fair. That's
Okay,
fair.
well, we'll make sure they note they can still get Legends 10% off.
And just
All right.
remember, folks, all right, if you're going to buy 3 or 4 bags, you don't have to do them all in one purchase. You can make them purchases.
No,
And-
please make them all at one purchase because that saves me shipping. Please make them all in one purchase, but I'll do every bag that's labeled with that has every bag.
There we
with
go.
an ASMR order. I will do one minimum 5-minute ASMR God Emperor trick. That is my guarantee to you.
I'm gonna have to create a whole new playlist now.
You are all going to be sorry. Someone is going to use that code, and I'm going to be talking about buttholes and the Imperium. Good luck,
Amazing.
podcast.
Oh boy. All right. On that note, see you folks.
Welcome.